All right, we got an earnings update. We're talking about Enphase stock today. So you can see, just looking at the chart real quick, we won't talk about this too much, but it was up 17% today. So big jump, a lot of volume, a lot of green, looks good. But when we zoom out, we still haven't done much. So it's been a long way down and a little ride back up. But let's get into the earnings update, and we'll revisit right now the bull and bear case. I've done a video on all this. We're going to touch on this shortly. So bull case, electrification of the world, increased demand for power. Look around your house. How many outlets have power strips and 10 things plugged in? The demand for electricity is going to continue to go up. You've got AI, all those computers need a ton of power. You've got EV cars, you've got tankless water heaters, all kinds of stuff. I got 2 TVs behind me, 10 monitors, and we all use a lot more electricity than we have in the past. And the reality is our great utility companies aren't able to keep up with the demand. So we need solar on our house so everyone can be their own little power grid. And also, I don't like these PG&E and utility type companies because they have pricing power on us. They're very inefficient and they can raise prices whenever they want. So for me, I can be in control. I can be a sovereign individual by having solar on my house. I have an EV, I have a golf cart, I've got 10,000 screens around me. All that's powered by the sun, and I produce more energy than I consume. That's great. So Enphase is an installer preferred product. So I have 2 systems on my house, solar systems. The old system, which was Sunworks and Sunrun and a bunch of crap. And the new system is Panasonic panels and Enphase inverters. And it's phenomenal. No problems. It's new system, but the reason I chose Enphase versus the other ones is it's installer preferred. What does that mean? The installers want to put Enphase products in because they don't have to come back a year later because it broke. That's the case with the other guys. Their products suck, they malfunction all the time, and it's not worth the installer's time to put it in and then have to come back and service it, and you're talking to the customer, the provider, and for the customer it's frustrating because you get the runaround from SolarEdge and Sunrun. It's not us, it's the installer. They put it in wrong, so go to them first. And so you're just doing this, you're chasing your tail, and it's very frustrating. Not the case with Enphase. Great customer service, great software, and their inverters are patent, so they do have a little bit of a moat there. So great product, really good. They also have battery storage, so same thing with the Tesla Powerwalls. So that way you can have a whole ecosystem for your house. You can have the solar panels, the batteries to store energy and sell it back to the grid. You store it when you get the energy cheap during the day, and you can sell it to the utility to give it to your neighbor down the street at peak time. So let's just make numbers up here. You gather the energy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun's out. No one's home, no one's using energy, so that is cheap energy. But then you sell it at 6 o'clock at night when everyone's home cooking, using their washer and dryer. So you get a nice spread on that arbitrage of energy. EV chargers as well. You can have those installed on your house. And again, the software, everything can be controlled on your app, which is really cool, really nice. And they have a great software, great platform. Government cheese. So I live in California. There is a lot of incentives for solar panels. They're cutting back on the panels, and they're starting to incentivize batteries, and they're incentivizing commercial solar. That's the next phase. I'm seeing a ton of apartment buildings throw up solar panels on the roof. I think you're going to see a lot more businesses and warehouses throw up panels on there. And also the last leg, I think, will be the covered parking lots. I think I've seen some Targets and things like that where they're putting those awning style solar panels. So you're giving shade for the cars, and you're also, you have this huge parking lot that's not doing anything, and it's expensive to put those things up there, but it's a one and done deal. Maybe you have to replace some panels or some inverters every 10 years, something like that. But The government will incentivize that because we don't have the infrastructure for the increased demand of power that is coming. So that's the pros, that's the bull case. We've talked about it. It's just good to revisit quarterly. And I'll take things out and put things in as they change, like I did with Tesla. Let's look at the cons. So solar needs to be financed. So it is an interest rate and cyclical business. Rates have increased a lot. So the cost of solar has increased a lot because people don't pay for solar cash. Solar system is 20 to 30 grand depending on the size. And you're looking at around a 5-year to 7-year payback, right? Because you finance it. Let's say you have a $200 bill. That's great. You've got a $200 solar bill. Now you have a $10 electrical bill. So your cost is right about the same, right? If your PG&E bill, if your utility bill was $100-200, and now you've got a $200 solar bill, but your electricity bill has dropped, you're around net. But as interest rates increase, those numbers don't make sense. So less and less people are going to say, you know what, why fork out the money now? Because the numbers don't make sense. I'll just keep paying PG&E. So the question is, utilities continue to raise their rates, and we're going to see interest rates come down. So as the cost of power continues to go up, you'll probably see more people say, well, screw this, I'm just going to go buy solar because the numbers make sense now. So I think we're going to see both, because you never see your utility say, hey, we're going to cut electricity prices. I've never seen that, especially here. It's only going up. So anyways, that balance is a little out of balance because interest rates are high. But I know here in California, we're going to have electricity prices increase around 25%, but we still don't know. The initial number that PG&E said was around 40%, and now everyone's like, oh, and then they're going to hit you with 25 to make it seem a little bit more palatable. But who knows what that actual number will be. Valuation. Its valuation isn't great. It's not terrible. But because the revenue has declined so much because of the cyclical interest rate sensitive portion of it, its valuation, it's not cheap. It's not blistering expensive, but I would say it's just blah. It doesn't get me excited either way. And its growth is slowing because of this. That's the problem with the stock. That's why we've seen this drop. Now this rise was probably not warranted. This was euphoric, bull market, everyone going nuts, Bitcoin 60,000, all kinds of craziness, animal spirits. But you can see at the bottom, their earnings, boom, hit, green. So they're a well-run company. Wow, I didn't even realize that. This was their first earnings miss since 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020. So that could be in the pro as well. It's a very well-run company, and we'll get into some of that with their earnings. So let's get into the earnings recap. The good stuff, insider management has been buying. The company has been buying. They bought a ton of shares. And I remember I don't know the exact number, that they amount that they purchased, but I know they said their average cost was around $86. So you can bet that they have a feeling that around $86, that's dirt cheap. Maybe not 115, but 86. So that's good to see because they have conviction. People sell for a ton of reasons. You only buy for one reason, because you think it's going up. They also were able to keep their profit margin. I think their profit margin actually increased a little bit. That was through layoffs, and they reduced the amount that they produce. So they shut down some factories in different areas because this is a global company. So that's good that they're able to keep their margin. But you're going to see that because they could cut their prices and sell a lot more product, but they're saying we're gonna keep our margin. We're just gonna limit how much revenue we get for this short period of time. I don't know how long that's gonna be. 1 year, 2 years, 2 quarters, who knows? But what's clear in this earnings is that the revenue has not bottomed. So the company's revenue was 302 million, fell short of 328 million for this past quarter. And their guidance was 260 to 300, which was lower than the estimate of 320 for the next quarter. So most likely we're going to see another decline in revenue next quarter. So again, I like this company long term. I'm not in it for it to go up to 150 tomorrow. I'm in it for 5-10 years. And next time we get a big drop in interest rates and everything's booming again, when real estate's booming again, because this is going to be tied with real estate, with interest rates. So when those headwinds come back or go away, when those tailwinds come back, I think this company is positioned really, really well for the long run. So what I'm doing personally with the stock, I had a call at 115. I still have it because I don't think this is going to hold. I think this is going to end up selling off within the next few months. And I've been selling puts at around 80 bucks. So maybe I'll start selling puts at 85 when we have some red days. But you sell puts on red days, and we've had some big green candles here. So me personally, I'm not doing anything. I'll look to buy again under 90 bucks when we get there. I think we'll get there again. What's great is I think the expectations were so low for this quarter that we're starting to bottom out. Now, I don't know, maybe the price has bottomed out here, but it wouldn't surprise me if we get a little of this, boom, 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 and we're just kind of moving along like that. So, but what do I know? Oops, whatever. I don't know how to get rid of that. So that's all I got for you. This went longer than I wanted it to, but Enphase earnings update, great company. Let's just wait and see. But I'm not expecting a whole lot price-wise here. Let's just wait till next quarter and hope they continue to do okay. But that's all I got. Peace out.